Good morning, Piute, and happy Thursday. It's Miss Lambert here with your daily lesson today, which is Thursday, May 21st. We have two Piute birthdays today, so a big happy birthday to Angel and to Malia. On this day, May 21st, in 1819, the first bicycle in the U.S. was seen in New York City. Today's holiday is National American Red Cross Founders Day. And today's quote of the day is from Barack Obama, who said, "Learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins, and it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world." And that quote goes in perfectly to our lesson today, which is about empathy. So here we go. Alrighty, warriors. So today's lesson will focus on empathy. Learning about empathy is important and helpful, as this allows us to show the people in our lives that we care. Empathy can also teach us more about ourselves and how we connect with others. Perhaps you have noticed that people easily confide in you their most personal experiences, and you are the first person they want to talk to when something happens. If this happens to you, it's very likely that you are naturally very empathetic. People trust you because you allow them to be themselves and don't feel judged by you. If that's not the case for you, that's also okay. We all have the ability to be empathetic, and today you can learn how and why it is helpful. On our way to become more empathetic, we're going to learn today the meaning of empathy, how to read and reflect feelings, how to put yourself in someone else's shoes, the keys to empathic listening, and a dozen ways to show you care. Empathy is the ability to recognize, understand, and share the thoughts and feelings of another person. Empathy is crucial in helping us act with compassion. We can also be empathetic to animals. Empathy is being able to put yourself in someone else's place, or as you've probably heard, shoes. It means you are aware and you can understand the needs, feelings, and problems of others. It also means that you are able to understand another person's way of looking at things. In this video, we will have an opportunity to learn more about the importance of empathy.
The importance of empathy. We all live in our own version of reality, a reality that is limited by our senses, our temperament, and our own experiences. It is the only reality we will ever truly know, but it is crucial to our personal development, our relationships, and to society itself that we make the effort to try and experience other people's realities as well. This is done through empathy. Simply stated, empathy is an active attempt to understand another person's perspective, their emotions, and in essence, their reality. We are social animals, and our ability to communicate and understand each other's emotional states is key to maintaining our relationships. So it is little wonder that the ability to empathize is hardwired directly into our brains. One area that assists in this process is the right supramarginal gyrus, which helps us to distinguish our own emotional state from that of another person, and plays a key role in our ability to observe and assess what other people are experiencing. Studies from Neuron Science Journal suggest that we have systems of mirror neurons in our brains that cause us to mimic the actions of others. That is why when we see someone yawn, we will often yawn in reply. And when we observe someone experiencing joy or pain, we experience the same sensation to a certain extent. But these reactions are primarily driven by subconscious reflexes. In order to be truly empathic, you have to actively think beyond yourself and your own concerns. You can develop this empathic skill by practicing some simple habits. Be observant of others. We tend to spend the majority of our day dwelling on ourselves, caught up in our own daily routines and digital distractions. But taking the time to observe others around you is a good first step in developing your empathy. Watch and wonder. Try to focus on the person's state of being rather than categorizing or labeling them. Ask yourself, what kind of day are they having? How are they feeling? Challenge yourself to genuinely care about their well-being. Curiosity about others is the first step to expanding your empathy. Use active listening. During a conversation, especially a heated one, most people formulate their response before the other person even finishes their statement. This form of communication is more verbal combat than an exchange of ideas or opinions. Avoid this reflex by slowing down. Rather than rushing to reply, take a moment to consider the other person's statement. Ask follow-up questions to better understand what the speaker intended. Try to understand their emotional state and the deeper motivations behind their statement. What life experiences led them to their current worldview? Remember, you don't need to share someone's opinion in order to understand it and acknowledge it. And listening will help inform and expand your own opinion. Open up. Learning more about other people's experiences is a key element to seeing the world through someone else's eyes. But it is also important to open up about your own feelings and experiences. Empathy is a two-way street that at best is built upon mutual understanding. Through a combination of uncovering the deeper motivations of someone else's position and expressing our own underlying concerns, we often discover a shared commonality, even with those who hold different beliefs than ours. Through the practice of keeping an open mind, empathy helps us challenge prejudice, find commonality, and expand our moral universe. Without it, we are apt to label people outside our circle as the other, the problem, or the enemy. These labels draw lines in the sand that prevent us from moving forward or growing. It cuts us off from the realization that the human experience is a shared experience. We have much more in common than we think, and are really just seeing small variations of the same reality.
What word can be made using the letters in the word silent? If you guessed listen, you are correct. In order for us to show someone we understand what they're saying, it is important for us to listen. A helpful way to ensure that we are present during the conversation can be achieved by doing the following diagram. Be silent, listen, focus on what is being said, accept what is being said, reflect back to someone what they just said. How to read feelings. By reading feelings, we are talking about observation. When we observe others, we can in many cases tell how they may be feeling. This, of course, is not always the case, as the person who will know more about how they feel is the person themselves. However, our behavior communicates. So, as in the example of the person who is yelling at another person, we could read or interpret their yelling as feeling angry. Because in many instances, you can tell how someone is feeling just by looking at them. Feeling words include happy, nervous, angry, confused, excited, disgusted, embarrassed, sad, surprised. In this video, we're going to see how feelings are expressed through body language.
Here we go. All right, open.
This looks new.
Think it's safe?
What is it?
Okay, caution. There is a dangerous smell, people. Hold on, what is that?
This is disgust. She basically keeps Riley from being poisoned, physically and socially.
That is not brightly colored or shaped like a dinosaur. Hold on, guys. It's broccoli! Well, I just saved our lives. Yeah, you're welcome.
Riley, if you don't eat your dinner, you're not going to get any dessert.
Wait, did he just say we couldn't have dessert?
That's anger. He cares very deeply about things being fair.
So that's how you want to play it, old man? No dessert? Oh, sure. We'll eat our dinner right after you eat this.
Right. Here comes an airplane.
Oh, airplane. We got an airplane, everybody.
Sometimes our communication is obvious and conscious. However, there are those times when we are not conscious, yet are still communicating to others how we feel and what we like or not, such as shrugging shoulders, shaking hands, pushing, hugging, patting on the back, eye gaze, or movements. We learned about feelings earlier this week and how important it is to be aware of our own feelings and to best understand ourselves and how we experience triggers that focus on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So think of some of these scenarios and how you would feel. For example, your family has to move to another city. You get the highest test score in your class. You didn't make your preferred sports team at school, but your friends did. Take a moment to think about how you would feel if any of the above scenarios happened to you. It is important for all of us to be in touch with our own feelings and to be able to identify them. Now let's put ourselves in another person's shoes. How would you feel about another person's situation? For example, their mom is the only person working in their family. The company she works for has to reduce the number of people they employ. She just found out that she no longer has a job. Another example, you notice that a peer is name-calling another one of your peers in person and social media. Feeling how another person feels is an important aspect of developing empathy for others. The keys to empathetic listening. Let's review. We have learned the importance of listening to others, reading body language, and trying to feel what another person is feeling. The next step is to express supportive statements. An important part of empathetic listening is saying supportive statements. Listen to what someone says, observe how they feel, reflect that feeling to the person, and then say a supportive statement. It all starts with having an understanding of the person's experience. You don't necessarily have to have gone through the experience that they did. However, if you are being empathetic to the other person, you are coming from a place of understanding. You are in the present moment, listening and being there for the other person. These empathetic, supportive statements are some examples of things you can say to a friend or person in need of support. So some examples are, may I help? I understand. I am happy for you. I am sorry. Keep trying. Showing that you care for the well-being of others is a special moment. It can make all the difference in someone else's life, whether the person tells you or not. One important aspect about being empathetic is that although it's important and a great way to connect with others, it's also important to set boundaries for yourself. And here are some ways that we show others that we care. Friendly by smiling at someone. Kind by helping someone in need. Understanding by not judging someone. Respectful by using kind words. Honest by speaking and doing the right thing. Patient by waiting for your turn. Caring acts that people do include help someone pick up something they dropped on accident. Give someone a compliment. Listen attentively. Give a friend a gift. Help someone with their homework. Offer to help clean the house. Showing ways we care and how others show they care demonstrate empathy. Next time you're having a conversation with someone and they are talking with you, make an effort to practice being empathetic. Also, don't forget to do some self-care. Another important quote about empathy is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Today, if you are up for it, do a search on an empathy quote and write about why that quote stood out to you. What does it mean to you? You can also write about how you have shown empathy to someone and put your empathetic skills to use next time you talk to someone. Alrighty, Piute, I hope that this was a helpful lesson and that you've learned some new things about how to be empathetic and how to be a good friend and show empathy. I'll see you next time.